Today is Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. My name is Edna Sussman. I'm a reference librarian here at the Half Hollow Hills Community Library. We're interviewing Leonard Silvestri, an Army veteran, as part of our Veterans Testimonial Project and in collaboration with the Library of Congress's Veterans History Project. Thank you so much, Lenny, for your service and for participating in our project.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Lenny, where and when were you born?
I was born October 10th, 1941 in Manhattan, New York.
And who were your parents, their names and occupations?
My father was named Andrew, and he worked for the post office, and my mother was Lucy, and she was a seamstress.
At home?
No, she worked in a shop.
In a shop?
Yeah.
Did you have any siblings?
I have one brother, Peter.
Okay. Was he ever in the military?
He was in the Army.
Oh, before or after you?
After me.
After you. Was he deployed abroad at all?
No. He was stationed, I guess it was Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Now, what were you doing before you entered the service?
I just graduated high school.
Oh. So were you drafted or did you enlist?
I boosted up my draft.
What does that mean?
When you're 18, you have to go sign up to get a draft card.
Oh.
So all I did was, there was no war going on or anything, no conflicts. I said, boost up my draft, I want to go in right away. And 2 months later, I was in Fort Dix.
Did you pick the branch?
No, you couldn't pick anything. It was only for 2 years, so you went into the Army.
The Army. What year was that?
1960.
Okay. So what happened when you departed for training camp, and where did you go, and what were your early days of training like?
First was Fort Dix, which was a shock because they got you up 4 o'clock in the morning to have breakfast. They give you your shots, your clothes, and everything. And then I went down to Fort Benning,
Where's
Georgia.
that? Georgia.
World War II barracks that were, somebody had to stay up all night to watch no fires because those buildings were made out of wood and they would go up.
Are you kidding?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So they kept watch? I mean,
Yeah,
well, I guess people smoked then and you did things.
Oh, yeah, people smoked, but everybody was in bed by 9 o'clock because you were tired. They're getting you up at 4 o'clock in the morning,
No.
but they had a smoke watch.
But if things weren't burning or you weren't cooking, what could have
No.
caused it?
Fire, anything, lightning.
Oh, I see.
It was so bad that you could put your hand right through the wood and you feel outside. So that's how.
Thin. Very
Yeah.
thin. Wow. So what was your early training like? Basic training and...
Tough, because we didn't know what was going on. Right out of high school, and you get these sergeants. They were nasty. They weren't nasty. They were just tough.
Tough. Do you remember their names?
No, I remember what they looked like, but I
Really?
don't remember their name.
Tough in what way?
They didn't make you get away with anything. I mean, you got up, they check your bed. If no good, turn over the bed. If it wasn't made right, if your shoes weren't shined, they would scuff them up for you.
Oh, wow.
Really, they broke it down the way I guess they were supposed to do.
Wow. Were there any fellows that didn't make it through that?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They had to repeat it after 8 weeks. You had to repeat. If you didn't pass it, you back.
They made you leave?
No, you repeat the whole
Oh, they wouldn't
basic
let you
training.
quit?
No. Basic training. You do it all over again.
How long was basic?
8 weeks.
Uh-huh. So you were in Fort Benning for 8 weeks?
Yes. And then I came home for leave, and then I went down to Fort Hood, Texas.
What was there? More
Advanced training.
or-
Yeah, advanced training was armor school, and I trained on the big mortars, the heavy mortar, 4.2 mortars.
What did you have to do with them?
Fire them.
Learn how to operate them, you mean?
Yeah, learn how to operate them in a track, out of a track. And I scored high on that one.
Huh.
And then from there I went to Germany.
How long was this specialized training?
8 weeks.
Oh, also 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
So, I mean, this was, I guess, you always had to be ready in case there was a conflict.
Oh, yeah.
So not everybody was trained on those weapons.
No. Everybody different. Who was trained as a mechanic or a tank driver or a track driver or a gunner or cooks. I mean, they trained for everything over there. But like I said, I was only in for 2 years, and the enlisted personnel got more of what they were looking for because they're going to be in the service longer.
Oh,
So they don't want to train you, and then in 2 years you're gone.
but you did enlist, basically,
Oh, yeah, I boosted up my draft, but I was only there for 2 years.
because you went
Draftees were
right.
2 years, enlisted was 3 or 4 years.
Oh, I see.
See what I did? Because you couldn't find a job,
Mm-hmm.
because the first thing they ask you, were in the service yet? And you say, no. Well, they don't want to start training you on a job, and then
You get
drafted, and
Oh, I
they
see.
lose you.
Oh, I see.
So that's why I went into the service, to get that over with.
Did you pick the specialized training at all?
No.
Did they give you tests to figure out if you would be good at it?
They gave us, aptitude tests and
Aptitude
everything
test.
else. Yeah, I went in with 2 fellas, and we took the aptitude test, and me and my friend Bobby passed it. My friend Joe didn't pass it, so they sent him to chemical warfare school
Oh, gee.
at a WAC training camp
Why?
in Alabama.
Isn't that for women?
Yes, it was. But that's where his training was, and he
Oh.
became a lifeguard there, and he spent his 2 years lifeguarding at a WAC training
Oh,
camp.
that's funny. That's really funny.
Don't laugh.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so
Now, did you have to train, once you had the training on this weaponry, did you have to train others too, or?
no. Then I went over to Germany, and then they put me in a company of mortars, but they didn't put me with the mortars. They put me with running wire from the mortars back to the headquarters, down to the, I'm gonna say, companies, infantry companies, to line, because wherever they need you, that's where they put you. It
Okay.
didn't make any difference what training you had.
Can you explain what's a mortar?
A mortar is a gun. They put them right down the tube. They put the shell right down the tube, and it shoots out.
Is it on a stand, or you hold it?
No, you don't hold it. They weigh about 150 pounds. They're the big mortars, and they just sit like this, and you shove the round down the tube, and it shoots out.
Oh, I see. So only certain people were trained on those things?
Yes.
Huh. So God forbid had been a conflict, certain places where people who know how to shoot mortars would be.
Oh yeah. You go with the infantry companies. You're their backing. You're the direct fire to the infantry companies, and then behind them comes the artillery. So you were right there, right in the front.
In the middle? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in front of the infantry?
No, right behind the
behind them.
infantry.
Okay.
But you would do direct fire. You would help them out
Oh, I
when they
see.
needed it.
So what town did you go to in Germany?
It was in Augsburg, Germany, which is about 20 miles north of Munich.
Okay.
It was a small outpost, only 1,200 men on the post. But it was a German World War II airport.
Oh,
That
they made into a U.S. base?
Yes.
Oh.
Matter of fact, the first German jet plane took off from this base that we were on.
Oh, wow.
So it was a nice, big base because it was an air base.
And was American?
That was all Americans.
All
yeah.
American. So was there like a barracks or something?
Just barracks, yeah. We lived in their old barracks, the German World War II barracks. That's where we lived.
Okay.
But it was nice, They did a nice job.
So, how was it adapting to military life and the food and barracks and social life? How was that for you?
The food wasn't bad, except when you was in Germany, they served you a lot of ham. You had
You're
ham
kidding.
4 or 5 times a week.
Ham.
And since I came out of the service, for about 20 years after that, you couldn't give me ham.
That's funny.
Because they used to buy it from the locals.
Oh, I see.
and that's what it was, But otherwise, it was nice, it was small, it was compact, you knew everybody.
You did?
Yeah, because there was only 1,200 men in the outfit. And
What did you do during the day? I mean, what did you do there?
you train during the day, different classes, or you go out into the field and train. Everything was training.
Yeah.
You never stopped training.
So you're always ready for whatever
Yeah.
might
yes.
happen.
Yes.
So it wasn't a U.S.
No, it
Air
wasn't
base.
an air base. No, it was just and it was an infantry base, as a matter of fact.
Did you have like a hospital nearby, or? What if you
In
need...
Osburg itself, where I was around about 5 miles outside of Osburg, and they had an army hospital in Osburg where
Oh.
the Vision was. That's where the hospital was.
Oh, I see.
But they had corpsmen on the premises at all times.
Medical corpsmen.
Medical, yes.
Just in case.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, when there was no combat, or
No, there was a couple of conflicts.
there was?
They had a conflict in the Congo at the time.
Okay.
And we were loaded on planes to be flown in there. Nobody was supposed to know where we were. We got to the airport, the airfield, about on a Wednesday
Where?
in Germany. And I got a letter from my mother on Friday telling me that there were soldiers loading on planes to go to the Congo. We didn't know about it. She knew about it.
How did she, oh my
It
gosh.
was in the papers, on the news.
Wow.
You know, but we didn't know about it. That didn't happen. And then I was there when Kennedy was having a hard time with the Russians, and he extended our time in Germany. So I spent an extra 2 months
No
in
kidding.
Germany. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Did anybody from your group go to the Congo?
no. We were just loaded on the planes. We had about, I want to say about 20 planes loaded with infantry, tanks,
Oh, just in case?
just in case, yeah. We were ready to go.
Oh, wow. Well,
They gave us the inoculations, everything. You had to make out your last will and testimony.
No kidding.
Yeah.
did we have any American troops go over there?
No. We would have been the first if we went.
Wow. How long were you ready to go? How long did you wait until
We stood
they...
there about 5 days on
kidding.
the airfield, loaded on planes.
Oh, you just stayed on the planes for 5 days?
Just the equipment was on the planes. We
Oh.
set tents up on the outside,
Oh, I see.
so you can eat, go to the latrines and do what.
Oh my, that must have been kind of scary.
It was. Each plane had 2 armed guards around it at all 24/7.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember, it was 60 or 61?
61.
What was going on in the Congo there?
Rebellion, I don't know. Nobody told us. Like I said, I got a letter from my mother telling me I'm going, there were troops on planes ready to go to the Congo.
Did you tell her you were not?
I didn't say anything because they wouldn't let you write out. You couldn't write out. You could receive mail, but they weren't letting anything out.
Wow.
But it was funny. That Sunday they had an air show on the other side of the field. We were on this side, and they were on the other side. And there had to be 100,000 people watching all these air shows. The Air
gosh.
Forces do their tricks and everything
Oh.
else.
Nobody knew of anything?
No.
Possibility of any
No.
problem? Wow. That's amazing. I'm sure there's a lot that goes on in the military that people in the military at the time don't know, or not supposed to know, I guess.
They don't tell you.
don't
That's
tell
for
you.
sure. They don't tell you. Like when they expanded us, that's when Russia stopped the Americans from going into Berlin.
During Kennedy.
Yeah, during Kennedy's time, and he says, I'm sending my troops into Berlin to strengthen it up, and he sent, I guess it was a battalion of troops in, and they got stopped at the border, and the Russians let them in.
Huh. But your group didn't go?
No, because I was south of Germany.
Munich's further south, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Berlin is further north.
North and west.
West.
East.
East, yeah.
East, yeah.
How was it, did you have any kind of social life? What did you do?
We used to go
for-
out on the weekends.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, they used to have dances in the clubs there, the NCO clubs and whatnot. And,
Did you like it?
yeah, it was nice because you get a weekend pass. You're going to Munich. I went down to Switzerland.
Oh, did you?
I've been to France. I've been to
Oh, nice.
Spain, So
Did you
it
go
was-
alone or with buddies?
No,
or-
with buddies.
Uh-huh.
It was buddies. There were
Very
5
nice.
of us.
So how long at a crack did you go? I mean, how long did they give you, how much time off at a
Well,
time?
they give you 30 days a year,
Uh-huh.
leave time, but you get long weekends, Friday night to Sunday night. And we would take a week.
Nice.
Go,
Oh, you could do a week at a time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What other countries did you go to?
We went to Spain, Italy, Austria, France, Switzerland, and Spain.
Very nice. Wow.
So-
You saw the world.
Yeah,
That's kinda nice.
pretty much. That's
Yeah.
what I figured. I said I never could afford this,
Right? And you were 18 when you went in?
18, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of friendships and camaraderie did you form while serving?
Well, I kept on, I was in the mortar platoon, then I moved up into they call a long-range reconnaissance patrol.
What does that mean?
It's, you go out 25 miles in front of the division, and you set up a radio station to see who's coming at you. In other words, if the Russians were coming at you, or we used to go maneuvers. We went against Armor Division, and we called in for an airstrike on a column moving through, which was all simulated.
Oh, I see.
But you know,
Practice.
it was all practice on how you did it. But we used to go out 20, 25 miles in front. We used to go by helicopter.
Oh, I was going to ask you, how did you get there?
By helicopter. We had those big, I don't know if you remember the big, looked like a big
Yeah.
bubble on the top.
Yeah.
You know.
How many guys fit in one of those?
Oh, you could put 10 in there.
Ah,
Yeah, they were big helicopters. They were bigger than the Hueys.
what's a UE?
The Huey was the helicopters they used in Vietnam.
Oh, you saw them all, yeah,
Yeah,
thin.
these were bigger. These were the first helicopters out. You know,
Okay.
they were big. We used to pick us up and take us to the division, and then from the division we used to go out.
Huh, wow. Did that happen often? I mean, that's what,
Oh, once, twice a month we used to have to do that. You know, then we had to do our own training because there was no training for this. This was something new. These long-range reconnaissance patrol.
what was the purpose of that? Just,
To have eyes in front.
yeah.
You know, what was coming at you. They didn't have all these planes taking photographs or,
Right,
or
right.
the drones or anything like that.
Sure.
Everything had to be eyes on.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. Did you like doing that?
Oh yeah, because there was nobody bossing you around. You know, you did out, you went out there, you did what you had to do. A lot of times we used to go into a guest house. That's like a restaurant,
Oh.
a hotel. We used to plug the radios in, and we used to communicate back.
Oh.
Well, if you weren't, you had to be out in the field. You had one of those hand crank radios. There was no batteries. You had a hand crank.
Oh, I don't know. about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
always to know how to maneuver and be ready, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
who's coming, who's not coming at
Yeah.
you, you know.
Did you have to learn like some sort of, you had to learn how to operate the radios, but code or anything?
Yeah, we had two radio operators. It was a five-man thing, two radio operators, and the three of us used to have security around them, and we used to go out and look and see what was coming.
Huh.
So they knew where we were at all times, but
How did you practice who was coming? There was no enemy, people weren't,
you used to practice against other outfits. In other words,
Oh, I see.
I was in a battle group here, and there was another battle group there, and then you used to go against them. They try to maneuver around you, through
Nice.
you, over you, you know.
yeah, that's good. That's really a good way
Yeah,
to
well, everything
learn.
was practiced. you know,
Simulated, yeah,
simulated.
yeah. Now, you said you stayed in touch with your family and friends back
Yeah,
home
yeah.
via mail?
By mail, yeah.
And you wrote to them too?
Yes.
How long did it take until things were, how long did the mail take?
About 3 days. It wasn't bad. Three,
Oh, that's
4
not
days.
bad.
It's not bad.
Were you able to call at all, did you?
I never did. You know, they didn't have any phone exchanges on the base or anything.
No.
You had to go
Oh.
outside and use the German thing, and
Oh, I see. So you didn't talk to them for, were you there the whole 2 years?
yeah, 2 years. I was there
2 months or
19 months, 20 months. I was there.
So at that whole time, you
I
didn't come
flew
back?
home. Yeah, I flew home for Christmas.
Oh,
The 61 Christmas. I flew home from there.
but that's it? That was the only time you came home?
Yeah,
Wow, that's a long time.
yeah.
Were your parents able to visit you? Did they?
No, they never came
People didn't do that
No.
then?
A few of them, people with the guys there that their family had money. They would come over, excuse me, like Oktoberfest or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. They would go over there and see their kids.
Did you go to Munich Oktoberfest? Did they have it then?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I had the Oktoberfest, I had the beer fest, and, you know, used to get
Yeah, yeah.
a beer like
Nice
this.
stein.
Yeah,
That must have been nice.
yes, it was. It was nicer to watch those women carry 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, I've seen
And-
that. I can't believe it.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you drink dark beer? Like beer they have there?
Oh, yeah, the beer they have there, it's not served cold. The beer is served at room temperature.
Oh, I didn't remember that. We were there for Oktoberfest one year, but I didn't
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, it's, when you go to the beer fest, that's the manufacturers that are making it.
Oh.
Lowen, Brow, and whatnot.
Right.
But in the small towns, every small town had their own brewery.
Yeah, okay.
So when their beer was never cold, and no bubbles in it.
Oh.
You know,
Why, they just like it that way?
they used to put it out on the floor, and you pop bottles, you just push the bottle, and that's what you drink.
And it was like-
delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
And still had good flavor, even, I guess warmth is better flavor?
It wasn't warm, it was room temperature.
Room temperature.
You know, and you're in Germany, so there was no warm weather, actually.
Oh, I get it, okay.
The
Yeah.
summers are very short.
Yeah.
And we found the best place to have the beer was just south of Munich. It was on a big lake, and it was done by monks.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, monks. Best beer I've ever tasted.
Really?
The monks made
Do you
it.
remember the name of that?
No.
I wonder if they still make it.
Probably do. They've been there. They were there for years before we got there.
Did you ever go to a little town called Dinkelsbühl?
No.
There's a romantic road south of Munich. It's called the Romantic Road. It has all
No.
these cute little towns in it.
No, I've been through Munich. We went south. We did training in the Alps.
You
In the
did?
German Alps.
Oh,
we did
wow.
Training, yes, yes.
Did you ever find there was a language problem? I mean,
Most of them spoke English.
Ah.
You know, most of the young people spoke English.
Really?
The older ones had a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, give me a beer, bitter, give me a
Uh-huh.
schnitzel, you know,
yeah,
to
yeah.
eat.
So you learned a little German over there?
Yeah, a little bit, not much, because everybody spoke.
English, yeah,
English.
pretty much. So when your time was up, did they give you the option to re-up? Did you?
Oh, yes, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
And you didn't?
No.
Why?
Matter of fact, nobody in my Alp, they used to have their meetings, and they asked for volunteers to go to Vietnam. Vietnam was just starting up.
You're kidding?
And they wanted volunteers to go there to do guard duty on the Air Force bases, because the Air Force didn't have anybody to
Wow.
watch their bases. So nobody volunteered
Yeah.
for that. I don't think anybody volunteered to up for more years, because
Would have been.
everybody wanted to go home. They didn't want to stay there.
With the chance that if you re-upped at that time, you probably would have been sent to Vietnam.
Oh, yes.
Is
As a matter of fact, when I came home, I was getting letters to go to reserves or National Guard, and I just ignored them.
Really?
Because when I went down to reserves once, and the guy says, forget about it. He says, because at that time, Vietnam was just starting up, and they were drafting everybody.
Oh.
And everybody was they were going off to the reserves or the National Guard, and they were filling up like crazy. They were all filled up. You couldn't get in there anyway, you know. Me, they would have taken because I had experience.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't volunteer. I never volunteer.
Yeah, right. Wait, so
Never volunteer.
you got out in '62?
Yes.
So what happened, well, how did you get home from, you?
By boat.
No, really?
By boat, both ways, by boat.
Both ways? Oh, I didn't ask you about that, getting
Yes,
there. How
yes.
long did it take?
Took 7 days by boat, and if you took the Queen Elizabeth or the Queen Mary, it was 3 days.
Oh,
On these boats, they would zigzag across the ocean. I don't know why, but that's what they did.
how many personnel on the boat?
Well, you slept 4 high in bunks. You had
No kidding.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Wow,
and the boat was always crowded.
really?
Yeah.
So it must have been over 1,000? I mean, how many people are on the boat?
400 or 500, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Easy,
Uh-huh.
easy. They weren't
Going there.
both ways.
Both
yeah.
ways.
Both ways.
So the same coming back was also like 7 days?
Yep.
So did you notify your folks, or did they know you were coming home?
I didn't know the exact date I was coming home. I know when I was supposed to leave, then Kennedy extended our time.
Right.
So we didn't know how long it was going to be extended for. They said 2 months. We were there only a month. And then they put you right on a train. You go up to Bremerhaven, and you get on a boat and you come home.
Ah, and it went to New York?
Went
the
to
boat?
New York, Brooklyn. Got out in Brooklyn. And they didn't even give you, when you first go in, they give you a token to get onto the train.
Yeah.
When they let you out, they didn't give you no token to come home.
Oh.
So you had to buy it.
But I guess you have, do you have some money on you, or?
Oh, yeah, you have always, you get paid every month. So,
Oh, I see.
you know.
So I bet your folks were happy. How were
Yes.
you received by family and friends
Oh,
in the
yeah,
community?
we had a nice party and everything else. Yeah, had a good time.
It was good. So how was the readjustment to civilian life?
Tough.
Why?
Well, but when you're spending, 2 years with 1,200 men, the cursing was.
Yeah.
When you get home and now you try to hold your tongue back. Then I had to go to the unemployment to collect unemployment. As soon as you get home, that's the first thing you do.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
So you hadn't really been working when you got out of high school. You went right into the military.
Well, I was working part-time, doing things. I was working for the Housing Authority in New York.
Oh, you were?
But it wasn't permanent. It was partial, permanent. And then when I got out, I just started looking for a job. But when you come out, you say, let me spend 2-3 weeks home just
Yeah.
to adjust back to the civilian life. And then I started to work. You get a job.
How did you looked for, how'd you know what you wanted to do?
Well, I asked my friends what they were doing, if they were hiring, that's how you start in. I started out as a truck driver.
In the city?
Yeah, in the city. Excuse me. And from there, I went to hot tip plating, they call it.
Oh, what is
Hot tip
that?
and plating.
Oh.
You know the fine filters inside of a light bulb?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Those filters there, we used to coat them.
Oh,
So I started doing that, and that didn't last too long because they got slow. And I went to a lens place where they made lenses for cystoscopes and all that other stuff.
Oh.
Fine lenses, and then I got a job working with my father-in-law in construction.
oh, wow. Oh, wait, so you weren't married when you left for the military?
No.
When did you get married when you came back?
I was an usher at my friend's wedding, and my wife was a bridesmaid
Oh,
at the
nice.
wedding. She happened to be my partner.
Oh.
So
Oh, wow.
that came out well.
How long after you came home did that happen?
I was, 21 when I came out? About 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, 2 years.
So you met a couple of years after you came back?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but she was younger than, she was 17.
Oh, wow.
So when, they throw the bouquet and they throw the garter, well, I caught the garter, my wife caught the bouquet.
No kidding.
Yep, yeah, but her father won't let me put the garter on her. He was a tough man.
Wow. That's a cute story. So how long after you met did you get married?
3 years.
Okay. Well, so she was still in school?
No, she finished school.
Oh, she finished school.
Yeah, she was in school. She was working.
Okay.
Because she was 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
So I was 25, she was 20.
So after you got married, you started working with her father? Or before?
Yeah.
In construction?
Construction, tile work, marble work.
Oh, did he have his own company? Or?
No, he worked for the biggest company in the city,
Oh.
which was his nephew owned it.
Ah,
And then when they got slow, I went out and I started working with other people. Then I started my own company up.
really? Nice.
And then the recession hit and everything fell apart.
Wait, that was '08?
No,
No, earlier.
Earlier than that, yeah. Early 80s, I guess, when everything, the bottom fell out. I don't
Okay.
know why,
In the '80s? I don't remember.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of work. You remember the old Horn and Hardart
Yeah,
in
sure.
the city?
Yeah.
Okay. They all changed to Burger Kings.
Oh,
And I did all their stores, putting quarry tile down on the floors, putting tile up.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got him go with the contractor, and after that, nothing.
Wow. And then after that, you started your own business?
No, that was in my own business
oh,
with
it
that.
was.
And then the bottom fell out. I couldn't. There was no work. You couldn't get work.
Oh.
So
So did you have kids by then?
no. Yeah, Christina. Yeah. Then when I got a job working for somebody, the bigger companies, because I was
Construction
small.
also?
Yeah, same thing. Stood with that a long time.
You
Tile,
did?
Marble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, have you remained in contact with any of your fellow veterans?
Oh, there's the two guys that I went into the service with. The one that went to the WAC training camp, and
Yeah.
the other guys. I still see them.
You still,
Still see them. Yep.
do they live local?
They live on Long Island.
Oh, they do?
Yes. Yes.
Nice, that's really nice. Are you a member of any veterans organizations?
No.
Okay. So you worked in construction, and are you still working, or you
No.
retired?
I retired 10 years ago.
Oh, wow, from that?
Yes.
From-
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do you think, are there any life lessons you've learned from the military?
Yeah, I don't believe anybody. Don't believe anybody.
Wow.
Especially politicians. You never saw a poor politician.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good point.
As Truman said, if you see a politician making money, he's a crook.
That's
I
good.
believe it because when he retired, he went back to his house that he grew up in, Truman. He didn't buy $1 million worth of homes or things like that.
Yeah,
And it's the truth. You never see a poor politician.
that's true.
I can't see a man spending $3 million to get a job that's going to pay him $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just
That's a good point, yeah. How do you think your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
I think it's a necessary thing.
War?
No.
Or military?
Military. War is the last you want to do about it, but you have to be ready. And I think that's a good thing.
Did any of you have a daughter and other kids too?
I have a daughter and a son.
A son? Did
Yes.
either of them serve in the military? No.
No. Now it's all volunteers,
Right.
But I think everybody at the age, when they graduate high school, should go in for at least 6 months, to see what life is really
What it's
about.
like, yep.
Get
It's
away
not
from
a
mommy
bad
and daddy
idea.
for a little bit.
I mean, there are countries that, Israel does that. They all have
Oh, I
to
know
serve.
that. I
Yeah.
know that.
It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
What message would you like to leave for future generations who might hear this interview?
Always be prepared, as the man says. Always be prepared for anything. It may be the service, life. You don't know when you walk out the door what's going to happen. So
That's right.
be prepared for anything.
Especially in your position, what you were doing, you were always ready. You had to always be ready.
Always ready. Yes.
Not everybody had that, was able to do that training all the time. They had to be on all the time.
You got to be on all the time. Well, from when I was in the service, the training was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Be ready.
That's good.
And
Did you feel you were? God forbid something.
yes, to a point, we had a General Walker. He was somewhat of a rebel.
Oh,
He would tell you if you were a rifleman and war started, your life expansion was 10 minutes. If you were a machine gunner, your life expansion was 3 minutes.
what does that mean?
If the war broke out, that's how long that you had to live, and then anything after that, you were lucky.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
They told you that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well, you remember you had Russia. They were having problems with Russia, and there was 100,000 Americans on the west. Russia had millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
How did you expect us to stop them? There's no way to really
Yeah.
stop them. And he was truthful about it. He says,
Wow.
if you last more than that, you're lucky.
Was there thought that this might really explode in
Oh yeah, a
Europe?
couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, especially with that Berlin thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was called on a Friday night. They never call alerts on Friday nights. And they took you out of the bar, put you in the trucks, and the way you were dressed, that's the way you went out. And
Oh,
we knew
gosh.
something was up.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is there anything, were you ever injured or hospitalized
No.
during your service? Anything you did that you might say you regretted while you were in the service?
No,
No.
not at all.
Any stories or any memories you might have that we haven't covered?
Well, when I was alert, we had
What's that?
the long-range reconnaissance patrol. This was our
Oh, wow. Look at that. Now, where did you have that?
in Germany.
Was it like hanging on your bunk, or you wore
We was-
it, or?
No, we were supposed to wear it. Nobody's supposed to know we were doing this. They gave these out.
Oh, just hold it up again so people. Yeah, hold up a little higher. Yeah. Day or night. And what does LRRP stand for again?
Long-range reconnaissance patrol.
Oh, okay.
They did it when in Vietnam afterwards. They did this, but the general had us do this when they have an alert. The general had 25 men around him for this up in the headquarters, and each battle group. I don't know if you ever heard of a battle group.
Not really.
Okay, they had battalions and regiments, but a battle group was based on Germany's military.
Oh,
They had battle groups, so you supported each battle group. Each battle group we had to send 5 men up to headquarters when they had the alert.
Oh,
And that's where you went. You went up to headquarters, and then you went out from there.
okay.
And he's the one that gave us these things. He
What's the
says,
difference between a battle group, a battalion, and a regiment?
battalion has about 300 men. A regiment is 3 battalions to a regiment. A battle group has 1,200 men.
Oh,
We
wow.
were self-sufficient. We didn't need any support from any, whatever we had with us.
Oh, I
Always
see.
went with us.
To defend yourselves and
Yes.
protect each other?
Right.
Huh,
So we had 5 infantry companies where a battalion only has 3.
oh, I see.
We had a combat support company where we had all the heavy stuff. We had the tanks there, we had the heavy mortars there, we had missile jeeps.
When you were on the base, all these things have to be maintained, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess everybody has a job.
Yep.
And some jobs were to maintain the equipment?
Oh,
and-
everybody's job is to maintain equipment. You know, your equipment, your personal rifles. I was still had an M1 when I came out of Germany.
What's that?
That's the rifle, a World War II rifle.
Really?
Yeah. They were just starting to come out with the M14s. So I never shot an M14. We had the M1s, and you know, you look at what the Russians had. Everybody had a machine gun.
Oh,
You
wow.
had single shot rifles. So you know,
Oh, gee,
nothing was sacred there.
yeah. Once you left, you have to give the weapons back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you didn't come out with it.
No. You left everything there.
Anything else that happened over there that you'd like to?
No, like I said, I enjoyed myself. I went all over.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, you know, France, Spain was beautiful. Love Spain. Switzerland was unbelievable.
Beautiful, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Switzerland.
I'm glad you were there before the chance of having to go abroad again to Vietnam.
Yes, so was I.
Lucky.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Lenny, for your service and for sharing your experiences with us. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.